Well, hello. Today we are going to replace the converter in the camper. It's January, but now's the time to do it before we're going to use this in the summer or the spring. So I'm going to switch over to lithium batteries. So I thought I would be a good idea to get a converter that can charge lithium, because you can't just put the converter use the old converter that is from 1999, October 99, and then switch over and just replace the batteries, because the old October 99 converter, a Magnatek 45 amp, it only had a 2-stage, and over the 26 years I had it, twice it's boiled the batteries dry. So I said when these batteries' life were over, I think they're 5 or 6 years old now, that I would replace them with lithium and get a new converter charger. So I ordered one. I got this 4600 series, excuse me, and this is, I can't see it here. Got no power in here because I got the batteries out. I got the shore power off, but I got my trusty lantern light. This is the panel. I'll put the lantern down here. Maybe with the flashlight you can see. I'm gonna take a video of how to replace it. Maybe it'll help someone replace it. A camper, trailer, it doesn't matter. They mount these pretty much, and they use the same enclosure. And as you can see, this one's maybe you can see. Let's see if we can get a light on there. It says Magnatek 6300Q series. So it's got this little panel here. Open this up and you can flip down top half, but we're gonna have to remove these 4 screws for the bottom, and that's what the top looks like. Got your connectors in there, your circuit breakers, and the bottom part's got the transformer behind that panel. We'll pull that off, and then we go to replace just the bottom part, but we might have to disconnect these wires on this. And the circuit breakers, I'm pretty sure we reused. Don't have to take those out. We'll see. Hopefully there's some good instructions in this. I haven't done this before. So you can see there's a description, 45 amp, model series 6300, and this is a model 6345. And that 45 is usually your amp rating. And you want to replace one with the same amps. At 45 amps, you want to put a 45 amp replacement in there. So I bought a couple of lithium ion batteries. I'll do a separate video on when I put those in, but gotta get the converter in first. So let's see if I can open this up and see if we can set this here. Yeah, if we can see it. Hopefully there's some good instructions in there. Seems to be packaged good. Don't see any damage on it or anything. Oh yeah, here we go. Got a warranty, installation, and operation guide. Oh yeah, they even got pictures. I'm good with the pictures. We'll see how that goes. Get it out of this box. Maybe. Oh yeah, they got some nice thick cardboard on that. Hopefully there's no dents or dings. You know how shipping can be, especially holiday season. I got this on Black Friday, and the batteries too. So there's the box. Got a fan built into it. Got some stuff in here. Let's see what we got here. This is probably the top portion, I would imagine, that circuit board with the fuses in it. Oh, there we go. Yep, got a couple little parts here, plastic parts, little bag of screws, some little wiring harness with a couple of quick disconnect slide-on pins. These are to connect the wire strip and the fuse, 2 fuses. This one has a reverse protection fuses, 30 amp max. So if you hook the battery negative to the positive, positive, negative, it'll blow the fuse rather than blowing up the converter, which is good. says 80 amp maximum panel current. I just did a search on lithium ion and how I could replace the one model I had, and this was the model that it recommended as a replacement that would do the lithium ion. So that's why I ended up with this model. Supposedly somewhere in here in the bottom there's a little post and a switch. Here's the wires. Got 2 wire ports here to run the wires up to the circuit breakers. And here it says Wiz on one side and Li on the other. So we're going to have to pull that little block out there. Hopefully I can do that. Pull that up. Yeah, I got big fingers. It's not that easy. Might have to get a needle nose or something. There's a little plastic block. Oh, came out. There we go. It looks like so. And you just move it over 2 pins so that it's going on the pin that says Li. Let's see if we can do that. I'm thinking needle nose pliers might be a good choice, but I was able to do it. So it's just a jumper plug. One side this way is going to be for lead acid type batteries, AGMs, and the other post is going to be for lithium ion phosphate or lithium ion batteries. So it's ready to go for lithiums. I won't be putting the lead acids back in here. So that's step 1. We got that part done. Let's get down there and we'll see if we can't take that panel off. It's hot in here now. It's about 35 degrees outside. So a little chilly. That's why I brought that kerosene. This one here. This kerosene heater in here. Let's just say it heated that up pretty quick. It's off now. But I do have this lantern going. It's putting off some decent heat. We'll see if we can get this panel off. Take the getter done. Let's see. Probably need a Phillips bit in there. Oops. Just saying. I don't need an extension, but I brought one anyway. There we go. Set that up there. And put those screws in there. Yeah. There's all 4 of them. All right, let me get those directions down here. See if we can shed some light on this little subject. Boy, it's a little dusty in there. We're going to have to pull this panel out. So they got some screws. Of course, they're straight screws. Of course they are. I've just brought Phillips. Well, let me pause this real quick and we'll see if we can't grab a set of drivers to take that out. Well, I can't say I'm a big fan of the straight edge screws, but they'll take a nut driver, so we'll use the nut drivers on them. Hopefully have the right size. Yeah, maybe it's 1/4. Yeah, 1/4 inch it is. Anyhow, that's replace this part. I was just going to take a photograph with my phone. Now we can get them all back in the right spot, but if there are too many of the same color, well, that's not going to work, is it? A black one there, a black one there. Well, we'll have to label them then. We'll get some labels. All right, always something. You know what they say. It's easy, anybody could do it. Let me pause this and go grab some wire markers. Well, I got some of these wire markers that were left over from probably 50 years ago when everything was 120 volt hardwired. You have to mark your own. So this is the first page is 0. We'll start from this side 0 and then goes 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. I'll take these wires off. Probably got to take this whole board out of here. First one will be 0. Peel one of these off. And wrap it around here like so. You can always leave them on there for future reference. Not really necessary to take them back off. And of course, when I got in the camper, it was chirping in here. I thought, what the hell? I thought the smoke detector battery was going low, but no. It was a CO2 detector. I bought it in 2017 for about 32 bucks, and it lasted till 2026. So that's pretty good. So I ordered another one. It's going to be here in the morning. And it hadn't gone up much. It was 35 bucks this time. So not bad after 9 years. I think that's acceptable. Yeah, you definitely want to get these back in the right spot because these fuses, 15, 15, 15, 15, and these are both 1 amp, and these are 15. You get the wrong wire on there, boy, you could have something. If you had a problem, you'd have a real problem. All right, got those. That's common. White's generally the common, I would assume. Got this. And the bottom one. Get this off. This one off of here. And it looks like we got a couple more 1/4 inch. And that one. Oh, I got the circuit board out. Oh yeah, these wires are pretty stiff. Not that one out. That one out. Pulled them down through those holes. Oh, we got a couple over on this side. And they're going up to this fuse box. Narrow enough, we'll find out. Looks like it is. The white one goes to the neutral bus. That out. Pull that down through here. And this other one's going over to this 15 amp right here. I have to pull this out. A lot easier to work on it, just pull it out. That way you can flip it over and get to that terminal easy. Let's see if it'll come out now. Yeah, she's coming out now. Let's see. Back some of the stuff up. Breaker back there temporarily. On this one, the fan was in the back, as you can see here. Well, a little dusty in there. Well, hopefully the replacement fits in that same hole. No, I'm gonna have to vacuum that first just because. All right, I'll be back. I'll get my shop back. Well, I didn't want to run extension cord all the way out here where the campers park, so I used my Delta power station, plugged the little shop back into that. Couldn't put that nice new converter in there, but all this crap in here just wasn't going to cut it. It's been 26 years collecting dust and dirt. Well, I can tell you this new converter is about less than half the weight of the other one. I'll slide this one in. Hopefully it fits that opening. Oh baby. Got holes here. Got nice plastic grommets on them to keep the wires from getting frayed. Much nicer. I say it doesn't have that giant transformer it had in the old one. And of course we got a new circuit board now. We can just transfer those over and transfer the fuses out of the old one into the new one. Here's the old one. So the old one had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you got a few more connectors for a few more fuses. So if you wanted to add something in here to be protected with some fuses, you could. So as you can see on the board, they have it nicely labeled. This lug here is going to be for the battery negative, and this converter negative. So the white one's a negative. This one says on the cable, goes down to the converter DC. So this one will hook to the converter lug, and the other one, the bigger white one, goes to the batteries. It's a negative for that. So, and then there's the big positive one will go to this positive terminal. But you're going to need, this one doesn't have use a screwdriver. You're going to have some Allen wrenches for this. So 5/32 is this one, and it fits perfect. So that's going to be a 5/32 to loosen and tighten those. Pretty big wires go in there. Probably should put those on there before we mount the board. I think it'll be easier to bend those thick wires. And then we'll put the bottom ones on. We'll just go in the same order we took them off. And we got them numbered 0 through 6 or 7 or so. So that should work out just fine. And then this side is the DC side, goes the batteries and stuff, and then they got a separation. And over here on the breaker side, this is the AC side. My old board, it didn't have a ground coming out of it. I went and checked, no ground, but this one's got a ground that comes up from the bottom. And we do have a ground lug terminal there, so I'll just put it under one of those screws. Looks like there's an empty one on the end, and then they'll have a ground down to the bottom. So, and of course, the black one's going to go to the breaker. So one of the things to note, the old board, it had 2 lugs on the back, and then the other 2 were on the front. This one's different. It's got 4 on the front, but they're clearly labeled. It says on them, let me get knees are getting a little sore on this hard floor. It says positive to the battery, so that one's going to run out to the battery. And this one says the positive to the converter. Of course, the converter is what we put down in the bottom, and you can see that positive one runs down to the converter. And then of course you have the negative the same. Those are next to each other. So those are the four connections. So that's how those go. And then the numbered ones, of course, we'll just, I moved the fuses already from the other one in the same order that the corresponding wires match. So I'll hook those up next. Okay, so we got her back together. Got the ground wire hooked up on the end there. Got the neutral on. Got the circuit breaker hooked back up the same way it was. They didn't have a spare terminal on the breaker, so I had to use a splitter again. I got the new board in, replaced it because the old board didn't have a reverse polarity protection like you see in the center of this one. It's got reverse protection polarity. Fit in here just right. So follow these directions and this methodology at your own risk. I'm no licensed electrician. I'm just a old vintage guy working on his camper and trying to keep it updated. It's cheaper than buying a new camper with all this stuff in there. At least I know how it goes now. You can see the wires are all numbered. One of the things I would recommend is that you make sure that you push those wires in all the way up to the insulation. Don't push the insulation under the screw, but just have the wires up under there, and make sure that you don't have any stray strands going off in cattywampus directions or any tight bends in the wire, or have the wire rub on this sharp edge. These edges here, that's pretty sharp. That was just stamped out metal. So I got these laying kind of circular and away from that. You know how these campers going down those old log roads or camp roads, there's potholes and they rub and they vibrate. So trying to keep these wires away from the edge, tuck them back in there where they can at least rub. You know they're going to rub on a smooth surface rather than the sharp edge. Anyhow, let me put the cover back on here, and hopefully it won't catch on fire when I hook up the batteries. The batteries will be the next video. That should be, I'm hoping it's going to be a little easier. This was a little difficult because this board had 3 extra terminals on there. Of course, it's longer. So you see, it just, that 15 amp on the end, that is going to be a bear to get out when it blows because it's kind of behind the lip there. So you can see this board, this side's flush. You don't have a problem here, you know, because the edge is flush, but this one, this side's got the lip on there for the screw to attach. So that fuse is kind of behind there. Anyhow, hopefully this is an upgrade, and I got 2 100 amp hour self-heating lithium iron phosphate batteries. They were $200 each on Black Friday or on Cyber Monday or whatever it was. And so I got them, and we'll see how they work. I usually camp up here in the great Northwest, where even in the summer it's going to be 40 degrees at night, and in the spring and the fall it's going to get down in the teens or 20s. And I want to make sure that battery is going to work in the cold weather. Well, got her all done. There she is. Won't know if it works right until I get the batteries installed. Probably do that tomorrow, put the batteries in. That should be pretty quick. Unless I got time today, I'll do it. But I got the old manual for the old one. I'll pull out of the paperwork and put this new instruction manual and the new wiring. Put that in with the manual. Yeah, here's the book. I still got the plastic case and all the different manuals that came with this when I bought it new in 1999. So that way, if I put the paperwork in here, if I sell it or I die, somebody will have the proper paperwork for the new converter. Grab the new one and we'll add it in. That way, operating guide, whoever ends up with this camper will have the information, or if I need to work on it or use warranty. I've never even blown a fuse in this camper, knock on wood. So those are the original fuses that came 27 years ago. So I suppose we should put the sticker in that door somewhere. I think I'll put that inside the door to remind me. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope this can help somebody. Now remember, I'm not a licensed electrician, and when I get the batteries hooked up, we'll see
if I smoke anything, I'll let you know. One other note is the screws that mount this cover on there are different. They give you a little bag of 4 screws. I wonder what they're for. Now I know the threads in that new bottom part are different. So you got to use those screws, or you got to drill them out and use the old screws. The old screws were painted brown to match the cover. You can see I did one, but the other ones are silver. So I either got to paint them brown with the brown paint to match that, or drill them out and use the old screws. I kept the old screws just in case I get a wild hair and I feel like taking them out. We'll see. It's down on the floor. No one's going to notice probably, but if I need something to do, it'll be a good little project. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Have a great day.